Hello and welcome back to Redstone Basics. Now we're going to be looking at inverters and repeaters in this. Now, a very basic system of redstone is where you would run power up and you have a system of that turns that on, and then you've got an active system here. However, if you were then to use a system where you needed it to carry on, you would run into a problem here, because you can see this system will then invert the flow backwards. So the signal comes from the right, and this signal will then, this particular torch will then send this flying back left. So the only power is running there. So say you had a system where you wanted something on at some point, off at some points, but you were running redstone around the situation, you would replace this with a lever, and you can see as soon as I place the lever and remove that power source, this torch goes on and that is powered up. So what you can do is control the inverter signal. So say you were using this to power a door. You will see here, if I go here and watch that door, turn this on, it opens the door because that signal was live. So if you're running around outside and you've got an iron door system, you can then come into your base, flick the switch, and it shuts the door without having to use a button or a pressure plate and accidentally open the door, or not open the door and getting annoyed by having to constantly hit a button and get through the door fast enough. You can control the entire system using an inverted signal rather than not using inverted signal. So repeaters work in a fashion of being able to extend a redstone line. So remember, redstone only runs for 15 blocks. So if I turn this on here, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now you see it's getting slightly darker, and then on the 15th, right? So it'll only run for 15 blocks. And what you can do, instead of leaving torches lying around, is stick one of these down, run the redstone to wherever you need it to go, and add a torch. Now this torch will then make sure that the entirety of the system has basically run for around 30 blocks whilst using one of these repeaters here. And it's it's an ingenious little system, and they work really well and so on. So genuinely, that's how the inverted signal would work. And then of course you can turn that off, which inverts that signal. But you can see with the repeater, that is now coming off of that, working all the way around without having to use that redstone torch. So the signal will keep pumping the signal through, nice and simple like that. And then turn that off, and there we go. So that is inverting the signal with a door project, as it were, and then of course using a repeating signal to send the redstone further and further down the line. Any questions, drop them in the comments, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and it was helpful. Take care. Bye bye.